What's up? Al came back again with another bike of the day feature. Now it's been a minute since I've done a bike of the day feature. Lately I've been doing just the bike of the month recaps, but this particular bike I'm going to talk about right now is real special. It's a custom engraved 2024 high polished daylight wavelength 2.0 BMX racing bike, and it is stunning. First of all, it's an aluminum frame with a polished finish that's done so pristine that it looks like it's a show chrome bike. The black and gold parts look amazing, and the detailed engraving on the frame and forks just steal the show. I've never seen a BMX race bike done up like this. Daylight really knocked it out the park with this one right here. The amount of hours it must have taken to hand engrave the frame and fork must have been crazy, but the end result is perfection. And I didn't even get to the high-end parts list on this bike, so big shout out to Richard Houvard for submitting this build. He got this one built up for Riley Poopmans, and I think it's one of Daylight's best builds yet. And they have a ton of stunning, colorful builds that you can choose, and for some reason this one here, the work, the craftsmanship put in this one is just next level. Richard Houvard is the owner of Daylight, and he said with the introduction of the Hero forks, the Daylight crew wanted to reintroduce the polished frame back into their repertoire. They largely stopped offering polished frames, as the only way to get the Daylight logo on a polished frame was by a decal, and that's not it. That's not the way they do things. They like to do things with ceramic paint, so if they can't do the ceramic paint, it ain't gonna happen, so they stopped doing the polished frames. But they thought about laser etching, but the frame simply wouldn't fit in the etching machine, not to mention that the lasers don't work well on reflective or polished surfaces. But then one of Richard's painters showed him his paint gun that had been custom hand engraved, and they knew immediately that they had to try it for no other reason than just because they could and because they're Daylight. It's definitely a stunning frame with all of that hand engraved detail on the chainstay, the seat stay, the down tube, the forks. It's really incredible. Now that we know the inspiration for the build, let's check out the parts list on this bad boy. So once again, this is a 2024 Daylight Wavelength 2.0 Pro XL frame with the high polished custom engraving on it. You got the Hero Thunderbolt aluminum race fork with the high polished and custom engraving on that as well. You got Daylight tapered headset, box Hex Lab titanium 3.8mm handlebar, box center clamp 31.8mm stem, ODI Ruffian lock-on grips, Hope Tech 4X2 hydraulic disc brake set, 120mm disc brake rotor, Daylight pivotal 30.9mm alloy seat post, Daylight quick release seat post clamp, Daylight Pro pivotal seat, Behringer Elite 2 crankset with custom ceramic coated gold, Cane Creek Hellbender T47 internal bottom bracket, Renan threaded chainring, box alloy chainring bolts, KMC X10 SL chain, Onyx Ultra disc rear hub, Onyx stainless cog, Hero Carbon Pro rims with custom gold graphics, USA titanium spokes in gold, DT Swiss Prolock alloy nipples, Maxxis Torch folding tires, and Tubolito latex ultralight tubes. This bike is stacked with some great parts indeed. So let's dive a little bit more into the Daylight Wavelength frame and some of its features and stuff like that. So the Wavelength 2.0 is built from the same proprietary tube set with the same geometry as their race-proven arc frame. The Wavelength 2.0 simply exchanges the straight lines of the arc's piercing top tube for a sweeping new style. It's available in Expert in larger 20-inch size and 24-inch sizes. The Wavelength 2.0 gets the Arc C2's more robust seat and chain stays. It also features hydrofoam tubing, tapered tube walls. It has a lower center of gravity with the bottom bracket coming in at 10.75 inches. Some amazing dime stacked American welding, machine vertical dropout system with an integrated disc caliper mount, ceramic painted frame parts, and of course their signature artesian head tube badge. So some of the geometry features on the Pro XXL is the chainstay is 15 inches, top tube 21.75, tapered headset, head tube angle is a 74 degree, 72 degree C tube angle. And that's pretty much everything people want to know about the build of the frame, like the top tube length, the bottom bracket height, and the chainstay length. But you can definitely get more information about the other features of the bike on the Daylight website. Now, this bike is currently a lot lower than I think it should be on the November Bike of the Month chart and the 2024 Bike of the Year charts. And if you agree with me and haven't given this bike a rating on sugarcane.com, definitely come to the site and give it a rating. And while you're there, go ahead and give all the other bikes a rating too. I can't wait to see where this bike finally winds up on the chart. I want to give a big shout out to Richard for submitting this bike and showing love to sugarcane.com and the Bike of the Day, Bike of the Month, Bike of the Year series. I think this bike really steps up the level of quality of bikes that we get submitted here on Bike of the Day. The year is still not over yet. We have December to go through. So if you got some bikes you want to submit on Bike of the Day, see if you can win Bike of the Month in December or Bike of the Year. You still have a chance, and I definitely want to feature your bikes. If you got any type of BMX bike, whether it's a street bike, race bike, flatland, pit bike, if you got a dirt jumper, front suspension, hardtail, front suspension, dirt jumper bike, or a trials bike, whatever, send those bikes in. Anything like that, I definitely want to see it. Come to the website or check out the link in the description below on how you can submit your bike to Bike of the Day on sugarcane.com. So, and also become a member. Join up, become a member on sugarcane.com, because I also have a membership leaderboard where we're doing a points chase right now for the most active person on the site who leaves the most comments and votes and stuff like that. You accumulate points and you wind up on the leaderboard, and you can possibly win a prize at the end of the year. And this bike right here, which is a new Mongoose FS1 from their release that they did for the 50th anniversary of Mongoose. And this bike right here is going to be given to, I don't know if it's going to be a Bike of the Day winner or if it's going to be the top member on the site at the top of the leaderboard. So you got to be in it to win it. All right, definitely participate in that, and let's see what happens. I also have some more prizes, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. It's all about that daylight, boy. The Wavelength 2.0 with the crazy hand engraved work done to it. Man, I got to get a sugarcane frame done like that. I'm biting. I'm definitely biting. It's awesome. All right. So anyways, it's Crazy Out Kane, sugarcane.com, CAC TV, representing BMX, hip hop, and other dope treats. All right. I'm out of here. Back to you, Billy.